I'm sure you discussed this, but I wonder if your mom realizes how much she hurt you. I can't imagine she would blame you. She has to remember pushing you out of that window. She has to. Is it possible she thinks of it differently in her mind? Does she think of herself as the victim here? Is she or others like her capable of analyzing her actions and seeing her wrongs for what they are? Oh, my mother realizes how much she hurt me. That's what she was attempting to do. She was attempting to destroy me and have ultimate control over me for my whole life. Tearing me down, making sure I didn't develop self-esteem, that was her main goal. Because if she was able to do that for the long haul, she would have supply in place that she had ultimate control over for the whole rest of my life. So yes, she does realize how much she hurt me. And she has no emotional attachment to it in terms of doing better. It's a really interesting question that you asked. And most of these estranged parents who are like my mother. So my mother, and there's been a ton of psychiatrists and psychologists through the last 30 years of my life, independent from different countries, different situations, who've all said pretty much the same thing. I say pretty much because sometimes a word or a diagnosis gets left out. They've either said that she is a narcissist. She is a narcissist. She has antisocial personality disorder or sociopath, or one or the other. So that's why I said it that way. The consensus seems to be that she is a sociopath and a narcissist. Someone who is, who has those types of disorders. They're not self-aware. They don't care about how they harm people. They care about how they control people. With my mother, I also think she's a sadist, so I think she gets off on the game and the pain that she causes. I was not her only victim. I was her smallest victim. I was her most, I was the victim that she had the most agency over because she had, I belonged to her, right? Kind of thing. I do not know how she does or doesn't remember dropping me out of a 2-story window. I do know, or within a pretty good degree of certainty, that she sued the landlords after dropping me out of the 2-story window because there were no screens on the window. And she was looking for financial gain. So she was doing that to gain finance, and my not passing away, rather walking away with 2 broken arms, was not a part of her plan. Death pays more, right? Also, let's talk about how that rolled out. So I'm 5 or 6 years old. My mother drops me out of a 2-story window. Does she call an ambulance? Because ambulances, even back in that day, we're in the early 70s, means police involvement. Maybe a fire department, the whole 9 yards. It's not usual to have a child fall out of a 2-story window, is it? She put me in a taxi and brought me to the hospital that way. And I remember that. I remember her putting me in the taxi. I had passed out on impact and I was kind of coming to. I remember her wrapping my blanket around me. I remember my brother running out with the blanket, which is probably why she wrapped it around me. In other words, that wasn't her thought. And I remember her carrying me into the taxi. And then I passed out again and I woke up with the cast on. So yeah, she does remember. Is she or others like her capable of analyzing her actions and seeing her wrongs for what they are? No. The answer there is simple. Think about it this way. Ted Bundy, serial killer, he knew what he was doing. He knew it was wrong. That doesn't mean he felt that he wasn't entitled to do whatever he wanted to do. Just because you know something is wrong doesn't mean you feel it's wrong. And people like him, people like my mother, they don't have feelings around that. If they did, they would do better. And they wouldn't hide their crimes. And they wouldn't have the need to lie to people about what they're doing because, they would know it's okay. So they do know it's wrong. They just don't care. Thanks for the comment. I think this was a really good one. And by the way, I don't call her my mom. I call her my mother. I'm not offended or bothered. I just want to be specific about that. A mom to me is someone who is loving and shows up and is kind. A mother is just a birth giver. And that's all she was. And well, she was a torturer. And I'm just kind of looking here to see if there's anything else I feel like, I need to address in your questions. Do you think she thinks of herself as the victim here? No, I think she likes to be the victim of me, this horrible daughter, the family liar from the age of 4. I think she loves to be the victim of me. I know she does not see herself as a victim because of the fact that that would mean that she saw herself as being weak, and that would not be palatable to her. She spent a lot of time demonizing me and building up my reputation so that she could be like, oh, look at this child I have to put up with. And when I went missing at the age of 13, that was the final time I ran away from home, and I stayed gone. I lived on the streets for 3.5 years. I was on the streets 1.5 years before I rented my first apartment. She loved being the mother of a missing child, and me being sent back home, she hated that. She hated that I was found because she couldn't be that victim in that way to get attention and pity from people, right? So, yeah. Okay. I will see you soon. Thank you for the questions and the comments. I appreciate you being here with me. What do you all think? What do you think about your parents and their conscience and their ability to take responsibility for your pain on any level whatsoever? Leave it in the comment section, and I will see you soon. Thanks again.